You ever feel like you're fighting a battle against yourself? You make a solid plan. You know exactly what you're supposed to do, and then you go and do the complete opposite. It's a struggle we all know, right? Well, what if I told you that this internal tug of war is happening because there are basically two different minds inside your head? Let's figure out who's really calling the shots.
I mean, this is the big question, isn't it? We know we should go to bed early, eat healthy, save some money, but it feels like something deep inside us has a totally different agenda. Why does it feel like our own willpower is so often the weakest voice in the room?
Okay, be honest. Does this look familiar to anyone else? It's that constant, super frustrating gap between our best intentions and what we actually end up doing. But here's the thing, this isn't a failure of character or you being undisciplined. According to psychologist Jonathan Haidt, it's actually a sign that you just haven't been properly introduced to the two minds that are operating inside you.
So, to really get a handle on this internal conflict, we need a better map of the mind. And Haidt offers up an absolutely brilliant one. Imagine your rational mind is a tiny rider and your emotional mind is a giant elephant. This one simple metaphor, well, it's the key to understanding pretty much all of our most modern struggles.
First up, you've got the rider. This is your conscious, analytical mind. The rider is the part of you that sets goals, that makes those 5-year plans, and totally gets the benefits of delaying ratification. You can just think of it as the voice of reason.
And then there's the elephant. This is the other part of you, that huge, powerful, emotional core. The elephant runs on instinct, intuition, and a deep, deep desire for immediate pleasure. It's responsible for all your gut feelings, your cravings, and those sudden impulses you get. And here is the absolute most important point. There is a massive power imbalance here. The rider might be holding the reins, thinking they're in charge, but if that 6-ton elephant decides it wants that piece of cake, there's very little that tiny rider can do to stop it. The rider's just an advisor, not a king. And look, this isn't some new age pop psychology. We're talking thousands of years ago. The Buddha used this exact metaphor to describe the challenge of mastering the mind. The goal has never been to crush the elephant, but to learn how to skillfully guide it. So if we want to work with our elephant instead of constantly fighting it, we first have to understand its personality. And it's not just some random beast, it has very specific and often kind of surprising tendencies. We're going to dive into 3 of its most powerful traits. See, the elephant is hardwired to focus on the bad stuff. It's a meticulous scorekeeper of favors and slights, and it is an absolute expert at justifying its own actions while judging everyone else harshly. First, let's talk about the negativity bias. This is basically an old evolutionary survival mechanism. Your elephant is programmed to react way more strongly to bad things than to good things. It's why a single criticism can totally outweigh a dozen compliments. And it's why traumas and insults stick with us for so much longer than praise and happy moments.
Second, the elephant is completely obsessed with fairness. It operates on a really strict principle of reciprocity. If someone helps you, you feel this overwhelming urge to help them back. But, and this is a big but, this has a dark side. If someone hurts you, the elephant screams for vengeance. It's the source of both our greatest kindness and, honestly, our most destructive conflicts.
And third, that self-righteous streak. Oh man, when we make a mistake, our rider immediately acts like a brilliant defense attorney, finding every possible excuse to justify what the elephant just did. But when we see someone else make that exact same mistake, our rider transforms into a harsh judge, focusing only on their flaws.
And again, this isn't just modern psychology, it's ancient wisdom. We are experts at spotting the tiniest splinter in our brother's eye while being completely blind to the giant log in our own. That's the elephant, hard at work protecting its own ego. Okay, so the elephant is biased, it's vengeful, and it's self-righteous. It might sound kind of grim, but this knowledge, this is our power. Because once we understand how the elephant works, we can shift our whole strategy from fighting it to finally actually leading it.
So there are 2 fundamental strategies for working with your elephant. The first one is all about changing your relationship with it. And the second is about changing the world around it. And both are about persuasion, not force. Step 1 is absolutely crucial. You have to stop trying to win a head-on battle of willpower. You will lose every time. Instead, the rider has to act like a partner. You've got to accept the elephant's nature, its fears, its desires, its biases, and then work with it. Persuade it, negotiate with it, train it, but never, ever try to dominate it. Now, step 2 is about being a clever architect of your own life.
See, the elephant always follows the path of least resistance. So, change the path. If you want to eat healthier, don't keep junk food in the house. Simple. If you want to stop endlessly scrolling on your phone at night, leave it to charge in another room. Make the right choice the easy choice.
So, okay, we've got these strategies for leading the elephant, but leading it where? This is where everything starts to tie into our overall happiness. Positive psychology gives us a really powerful formula that shows us exactly where our little rider elephant team should be focusing its efforts.
Our long-term happiness is a mix of our genetic set point, which, we can't really change, and our life conditions, like our age or income, which are pretty difficult to change. But that third factor, V, our voluntary activities, that is where the rider and elephant can really make a huge difference. This is all about what you choose to do every single day.
And all of this brings us to the ultimate takeaway. The goal here isn't to develop some iron-willed rider that can force a miserable elephant to do what it's told. No, true self-mastery and any kind of lasting happiness comes from building a harmonious partnership where the rider understands the elephant's nature and skillfully guides its immense strength towards a good life. So I'll just leave you with this question. Now that you know you have this powerful, emotional elephant inside you, one that needs to be understood, not commanded, what is the very first conversation you need to have with it?